Archangel Michael says, something has been orchestrated around you, not to destroy you, but to expose the weight of your truth. A trap was silently placed by someone you trusted, yet they weren't seeking your downfall. They were waiting to see if your heart would stay pure even when no one was watching. This person has always been nearby, observing without appearing too interested. They designed the situation so precisely, not to harm you, but to measure your soul's light in the face of silent judgment. What they uncovered shocked them more than they expected. They believed you would bend, lie, or manipulate your way out of it. But what they saw was someone who refused to exchange integrity for temporary comfort. And now, everything around you is about to change because of this unseen test you passed. You must understand, this was not just any situation, it was a divine examination permitted from higher realms. And you passed it without knowing. But now the reward must come. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They tested you with something personal, something emotional, something tempting. It may have looked like a normal conversation, a forgotten message, or even a wrong assumption laid in your path. You didn't even know eyes were on you while you reacted. Behind the curtain of this test was not just one person, but two. One held back emotion, the other held back evidence. Both agreed they wouldn't step forward until they saw your core truth emerge. And when you stayed kind, honest, and didn't fold, something shifted. It created a crack in the energy surrounding your life, and divine light began to push through. That's why recently, things may have felt strange, almost like the universe is recalibrating in your favor. Type Amen to get blessing 555. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, their intention was never cruel, it was cautious. They've been hurt before, misled before, and they wanted to be sure your love, your loyalty, and your actions were aligned with your words. But they didn't expect you to exceed every hidden measure they placed. A phone call was ignored on purpose, a meeting was delayed on purpose, and your reactions were observed. Your patience, your silence, and your refusal to gossip became your greatest testimony. You spoke volumes without saying a word. Now they know who you are when no one is clapping. They saw your honesty wasn't an act, it was a pattern. And that pattern has earned you an entrance into a new level of life they kept guarded. Comment, I'm ready for what's next, if you've been sensing a silent shift in how people treat you lately. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Some people smiled in your face while they hid parts of the truth from you. They wanted to see if you'd retaliate, accuse, or lose your calm. But you didn't, you held your peace, and that became your spiritual weapon. You've been misunderstood before, labeled unfairly before, and even judged for things you didn't do. But this test was never meant to repeat that pattern, it was designed to break it. And now the energy around your name is shifting. Someone is preparing to make a public statement about your integrity. They're writing, speaking, and preparing to tell others how wrong they were about you. And this will lead to unexpected doors opening soon. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Archangel Michael says, you've just stepped into a realm of divine clarity. Because you refuse to compromise, heaven has now chosen to align you with everything meant for your soul. There will be a ripple effect in your relationships, your finances, and your reputation. A financial opportunity that was being delayed due to someone's hesitation is now unlocking. The person who was once skeptical about partnering with you is returning with a renewed mind. They know you won't steal, lie, or pretend. Your honesty didn't just pass their test, it triggered their healing. You reminded them that good people still exist. And now they want to reward the very energy you didn't realize you were radiating. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They're planning something behind your back, but this time, it's not betrayal. It's a surprise offering. They want to give you something to make up for doubting you. For months, they held meetings, had conversations, and kept you out of it to see if you'd act differently. But you stayed true. Even when others whispered, you kept walking in light. Now they feel guilt, not because you failed them, but because they underestimated you. They're preparing to correct that silently, with actions that will speak louder than any apology. Type Amen to get blessing 444. The person who initiated this test is now facing a revelation of their own. They're realizing how deeply you value authenticity. And they are both proud and ashamed, proud of you, ashamed of themselves. Another person who witnessed this entire process from the background is about to approach you. They weren't part of the test, but they were deeply moved by what they observed. They're about to tell you something that will validate your spirit. It involves a message, possibly written weeks ago, that was never sent. They held it back, unsure if you were who you appeared to be. But now they are sure. Type Amen to get blessing 616. There's a location tied to this story. A place you visited, or were invited to, where the test was triggered. That memory may seem small to you, but it held enormous weight in the eyes of the one watching. You passed with grace. You didn't try to defend, explain, or overcorrect. You just were, you. And now that same place will return in your life, but this time for celebration. A meeting, an invitation, or an event is being organized to restore what you never asked to be restored. Type Amen to get blessing 292. Archangel Michael says, you are no longer in the energy of proving yourself. You are stepping into the era of being recognized without asking for it. Your name will be mentioned in circles that once excluded you. Those who plotted this test may not admit it openly. But they are orchestrating blessings behind the scenes. You will feel it in how doors open, how delays vanish, how emails and calls suddenly return. You've waited long. And now the test has ended. Type Amen to get blessing 313. Someone close to you was used as part of this test. They were told to act distant, or cold, or hesitant. But they're coming back with a soft heart. They couldn't carry the guilt any longer. You did nothing wrong, and that truth weighed heavy on their spirit. They're going to share something personal soon, a confession, or a message that will explain everything. Don't reject them. They didn't do it to hurt you, they did it to protect themselves from another heartbreak. But you've proven that not everyone walks away. Type Amen to get blessing 343. Your consistency broke down walls they built to protect themselves. Your truth became louder than their fear. And now, something divine is unfolding. They are crafting something in your honor. A project, a connection, or an opportunity that your name will be attached to. It's going to look random, but it won't be. It's going to be proof that the test wasn't wasted. That everything you endured was building a case for your elevation. Type Amen to get blessing 121. You may not have known how many people were involved in this silent test. One was watching digitally. One was watching emotionally. Another was watching spiritually. They all saw the same thing: you didn't change when pressure hit. You didn't shift when misunderstood. You stayed rooted. That stability is now being seen as strength. They're not just watching, they're building with you. Type Amen to get blessing 232. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, this energy of elevation is unstoppable. Because heaven saw what man could not. Heaven saw you resist shortcuts. The person who first tested you will come with something in their hand. A token, a gesture, a gift. They may not explain it fully, but you will feel the redemption in the energy. This gift is not just material, it is spiritual compensation. It is the reward of staying clean when it was easier to retaliate. Type Amen to get blessing 717. The truth is, you weren't supposed to know. They wanted to see your truest essence, not your performance. And they saw more than they were ready for. One of them cried. One of them smiled. One of them made a silent vow to never doubt you again. Your name is now under protection, not just from angels, but from people who once didn't believe. You will never have to prove your worth again. Type Amen to get blessing 848. A shift in your timeline has now activated. The people who were once skeptics are now defenders. They are speaking your name in reverence. A key is being placed in your hand, symbolic of access. Not just to a door, but to a destiny that was once held back. You are about to be trusted with something large. This time, there is no test, only reward. You've earned what's coming, and no one can interrupt it anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 505. Archangel Michael says, prepare for a divine reversal. The same person who doubted you will now recommend you. The same door that was locked will now open without effort. This is your moment. And no one can deny what you've built with quiet truth. The honesty that once made people question you is now the reason they can't stop watching. Let them watch. Let them whisper. You are already ahead. Type Amen to get blessing 383. Now go forward, child of light. What was hidden has now been exposed for good. The curtain has fallen. The truth has stood. And because of that, a reward no man can block is about to show up in the most unexpected place. It's not late. It's right on divine time. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Of course. Here is the continuation of the divine script. The truth is being written into the timeline of your destiny. There's no erasing what your spirit proved. You weren't just honest, you were chosen to represent honesty in a world full of falsehoods. Now, those who once doubted your energy are being silenced by your consistency. Even in private, your actions defended your name. And that private truth is now calling forth public favor. One person has already begun making quiet adjustments. They're changing documents, altering plans, reshaping opportunities, all to bring you into a space you were once denied. Type Amen to get blessing 117. They'll act like it was always meant for you, but you'll know the truth. You'll remember the silence, the delay, the cold energy that once surrounded you. And yet, you will not hold bitterness. Because your reward will be so beautiful, it won't make sense to carry old pain into new rooms. These blessings weren't delayed because you were unworthy, they were delayed because God needed to prove you worthy in front of watching eyes. Your life is becoming a testimony that honest hearts do not go unnoticed. And now that heart will be celebrated, not questioned. Type Amen to get blessing 727. There's someone who once questioned your loyalty. They heard rumors. They believed someone else's interpretation of you. But now they see clearly. They're preparing to come forward, not with judgment, but with apology. Not with assumption, but with admiration. They didn't think anyone could stay this pure in a world that celebrates deception. But you did. You made them believe in goodness again. And because of that, they've chosen to bring you into a part of their life they kept guarded. Type Amen to get blessing 939. Archangel Michael says, the trap that was laid was never meant to crush you. It was meant to unlock something divine. A shift in perception. A change in power dynamics. A revelation of who's truly real. This entire time, you've been walking through a divine filtration. Everything false fell away. Every fake friend, every masked supporter, gone. And all that's left is what's real. You. Your energy. Your purpose. Your truth. Type Amen to get blessing 414. You may not realize it, but this test has elevated your spiritual rank. There's an authority on your life now. You speak, and the right people will listen. You move, and doors will unlock. Because heaven is not just backing you, heaven is showcasing you. Someone is designing an opportunity tailored to your unique spirit. They want your name attached to something that will live beyond this year. And their mind is made up. They don't care what others say. They've seen the truth for themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 363. A woman who once watched from the sidelines is now preparing to step forward with a confession. She was part of the setup. She didn't mean harm, but she didn't stop the others either. Now she's full of regret. Your calmness made her rethink everything. You weren't just honest, you were graceful. And that grace is haunting her, in the most beautiful way. She's ready to bless you in secret. Don't be surprised when something unexpected shows up in your name. Type Amen to get blessing 646. There is a man whose silence once spoke louder than words. He kept distance, he kept secrets, he kept you outside his circle. But he watched. And he was moved. He's ready now, to bring your name up in the right room. To write your name down where it matters. To bless you without seeking attention for it. You'll feel it in a phone call. A message. A connection that changes your direction. Type Amen to get blessing 818. Archangel Michael says, a divine acceleration has begun. Because you didn't fold, divine speed is now being released. What once moved slow will now arrive in waves. Approvals. Connections. Payments. Invitations. All the things that were waiting for you to pass the test are now coming forward. Not because you begged, but because you endured. This is divine reward. And it cannot be reversed. Type Amen to get blessing 959. Look back for a moment, not in pain, but in power. Remember every time you stayed silent when you could have lashed out. Remember every moment you chose peace over pettiness. Those were your victory moves. You weren't weak. You were strategic. Spiritually wise. Divinely backed. Now the people who once waited for you to fail are learning a new truth. You're untouchable when your soul is clean. Type Amen to get blessing 141. A letter is being written with your name on it. It contains an opportunity, a praise, or an invitation. This letter was almost given to someone else. But the moment your honesty was confirmed, it was redirected to you. That's why you'll see signs soon. Repeated names. Numbers. Alarms in your spirit. It's the universe clearing the way. Stay ready. Because the next conversation will not be about if you're ready, it will be about how soon you can start. Type Amen to get blessing 373. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Someone is practicing what to say to you. They want to apologize, but they don't know how to begin. They want to bless you, but they're ashamed they ever doubted you. You'll recognize them not by their words, but by the shift in their behavior. They'll suddenly treat you like royalty. And they won't explain it. But you'll feel the energy shift. Their heart is humbled. Their spirit is convicted. And they will serve as proof that your truth made an impact. Type Amen to get blessing 212. The one who initiated the test is now walking with a heavy heart. Not because you failed, but because you succeeded beyond what they imagined. They thought you'd crumble. But instead, you rose. They're planning something for you now. A gesture of recognition. A secret release. A powerful endorsement. They may never say, "You were right," but their actions will say it for them. Accept it. Not from pride, but from peace. Type Amen to get blessing 353. Archangel Michael says, "You are now walking in divine proof. Heaven trusted you with pressure, and you responded with purity. That cannot go unrewarded. There's a clock ticking now, but this time it's not counting down danger. It's counting down delivery. Blessings are en route. Heaven is not asking you to fight anymore. Heaven is asking you to receive." Type Amen to get blessing 777. You are about to enter rooms that were closed. Join conversations that once whispered about you. Sit at tables where your name was once crossed out. But now, they need you. Not just for your talent, but for your spirit. Because people like you can't be replaced. They can only be revealed. And now your revelation has begun. Type Amen to get blessing 535. There's still one last person holding back. They're afraid to admit they were wrong. They're scared of your silence, your wisdom, your stillness. It convicts them. But they'll come around. Not because you forced them, but because your energy won't let them forget the test they once set for you. And the way you passed it with grace. You're becoming unforgettable. Not because you shouted, but because your actions whispered louder than anyone's noise. Type Amen to get blessing 252. And now the final layer unfolds. A message will arrive. A person will return. A door will swing open. And you will step through, not as the one who was tested, but as the one who triumphed. You were never being watched to be exposed. You were being watched to be elevated. Now, let them watch. Let the heavens celebrate. Let the reward begin. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Certainly. Let us continue where we left off, as the divine unfolding deepens. The one who set the trap has now realized it wasn't just a test for you, it became a mirror for them. They saw how you stood in silence, while they were surrounded by noise. They saw your truth when they were consumed by doubt. They can't sleep easily now, not because they regret the test, but because they never expected to feel this much emotion over how you handled it. You left them speechless in your simplicity. And now they want to repay you in a way that speaks just as loud. There's a reward being planned, not in front of crowds, but in rooms where major decisions are made. You are going to be chosen for something without ever applying for it. Type Amen to get blessing 626. You may notice sudden movement in your life. Unexplained blessings. Random messages. People bringing up your name in connection to big things. It's not coincidence, it's divine rearrangement. This person spoke about you in the right moment. And that moment turned into momentum. Someone influential now sees you differently. Not because you begged. Not because you chased. But because your truth walked into rooms before you even arrived. They are forwarding your name to a higher place. And they will not take credit for it. Type Amen to get blessing 464. Archangel Michael says, this shift will not look like fireworks, it will look like favor. Quiet favor. But undeniable favor. A payment will be released. A withheld opportunity will be reopened. A document with your name on it will reappear, with approval written this time. You'll be tempted to trace it back and understand how it happened. But don't. Just receive it. It's the energy of reward catching up to your clean heart. Type Amen to get blessing 737. A trip may be offered to you. A change of environment. A divine relocation. You may think it's random. But it's not. The space you're about to be called into is the space where your blessing was always meant to land. You may be nervous to accept it. But deep in your soul, you'll know, it's yours. It fits your spirit. It suits your energy. Accept the invitation when it comes. It will be the next level of reward from the test you didn't know you were taking. Type Amen to get blessing 838. There's someone who's been quiet around you recently. They were watching your response. Watching your choices. Measuring your vibration. They were sent into your life as an observer, but now, they're becoming a connector. They've seen enough. And what they've seen has inspired them to stand by you. They'll soon offer to help you with something you thought you had to do alone. Don't resist it. It's divine compensation for the moments when no one helped. Type Amen to get blessing 919. The apology may never come in words. But it will come in blessings. The actions of people will shift around you. Those who were cold will now become warm. Those who were distant will now draw close. You didn't force it. You allowed time to speak. And time has spoken the truth in your favor. This is not revenge. This is restoration. It's not karma, it's divine justice. And it's unfolding perfectly. Type Amen to get blessing 303. Archangel Michael says, you've earned this restoration. You've earned the eyes that now see you clearly. You've earned the favor that is following your footsteps. A project is being restarted just to include you. It was paused for months, because something didn't feel right to the person behind it. That person now realizes, you were the missing piece all along. They are rewriting plans. Adjusting budgets. Reworking visions. Just to include your name. Because your honesty deserves reward, not rejection. Type Amen to get blessing 585. Something that once brought you pain will now bring you peace. A location. A name. A memory. It will return to your life, but it will return healed. Because now it carries new meaning. Now it holds restoration energy. and your spirit will no longer tremble at its mention. You're entering the phase of full circle moments, where the very things that tested you now bless you. Type Amen to get blessing 191. Someone will bring up your past soon, not to harm you, but to honor your growth. They remember how you behaved when no one clapped for you. And now they want to acknowledge how far you've come. Their praise will feel surreal. You may even cry. Not because it's new, but because it's overdue. This is your season of overdue blessings arriving on time. Nothing can block it now. Type Amen to get blessing 474. The person who tested you has now become your silent advocate. They are correcting the lies spoken against you in places you'll never hear. They are defending your name in conversations you'll never attend. They may never say it aloud, but their actions are shifting in your favor. And you'll begin to feel it in your reality. Better treatment. Unexpected support. Messages out of the blue. That's them, making amends without asking for forgiveness. Type Amen to get blessing 818. Archangel Michael says, this is not just restoration, it's a reset. Heaven is returning everything that was paused, blocked, or delayed because of others' doubts about you. Your timeline is speeding up. Your spirit is glowing. And people can't ignore your frequency anymore. You are being remembered in places that once forgot you. You are being honored in rooms that once excluded you. And none of it required you to prove anything. Just your honesty. Type Amen to get blessing 111. Let this message settle deep into your spirit. You passed the test. You didn't even know you were being tested, but your spirit passed anyway. Now you are being called forward. Not for punishment, but for presentation. Heaven is preparing to showcase your truth. And no man can interfere. Let it come. Let it flow. Let it arrive. Type Amen to get blessing 333.